Hello friends, today we'll discuss 7th chapter of class 12. What's the name of this chapter? Alternating current. Name of the chapter is alternating current. This current word I think starts from chapter 3, current electricity. At that time I had told you that electric current is of two types. Electric current is of two types. One is DC, one is AC. DC means direct current, AC means alternating current. So, what's the basic difference between this DC and AC? What is the difference between them according to their definition? First, you'll understand. So DC direct current means it's constant current. The current which is constant in magnitude as well as in direction. Constant in magnitude. It's a magnitude constant as well as a direction constant. It has a fixed value. Its graph is like this. This is current. This is time, so the graph is like this because current is constant. But our topic of discussion today is alternating current. But alternating current, we have produced this alternating current in the previous lecture by the help of which device? Just recall, by the help of which device? AC generator. By the help of AC generator, I have told you at that time, this alternating current is the current which magnitude changes continuously. Magnitude changes means magnitude not constant as well as a direction not constant. So what was the definition of alternating current I had told? The current which changes its magnitude continuously and a direction periodically is called as alternating current. So this is our discussion today. Alternating current. You see the difference. Here magnitude always constant. 2 ampere means 2 ampere current passes when this is connected. But in alternating current, you can't tell about the amount of a current, how much current pass. I think I have drawn the graph. You just recall I have drawn the graph like this, I versus omega t, where always the current value changes. It increases, decreases, again increases in negative, decreases like this. And what about direction? Direction changes after every half cycle. Up to this is called positive half cycle. Up to this is called, this much is called negative half cycle. So after every half time period, it changes its direction. So what happens when we present the DC source? The symbol of a DC source is like this. This side is positive, this side is negative. This is symbol for DC source. This is the, here you can tell that this long bar is always positive and the short bar is always negative. But here the symbol of AC source, we do like this. Thus this just the symbol of the graph. Just do like this. This is the symbol of AC source. Okay, this is the symbol of AC source. But here I can write positive and negative. But here I cannot write positive and negative. I cannot write this one. This is wrong. I cannot write positive and negative. Why? Because direction changes periodically. So when this half cycle now exists, if this side is positive and this side is negative, after time capital T by 2, when this negative half cycle now pass, this negative become, this positive become negative and this negative become positive. Again, this become positive, this become negative. Again after time t by 2, this become negative, this become positive. So always periodically it changes its direction. So we cannot write any plus or minus sign in this alternating current supply as we have done in the cell symbol or the DC source symbol. So where we get this DC direct current, where you get, just I told you from which device we are getting this direct current. Direct current source is where? Direct current source is available in market. Is available in market, that is cell. Small cells starting from small cell. Also the big cells are there. They are the cells. So small cell 1.5 volt cell you buy from the market to use in your clock, to use in your TV remote, to use in your AC remote. So 1.5 volt cell. Starting from 1.5, there are available 3 volt cell, 9 volt cell, 12 volt cell. Where you use the 12 volt cell? In your vehicle. To start your vehicle, one cell is also used there. That's become battery, because combination cell is called battery. 12 volt battery you are using to start your vehicle. Then after that, also more big batteries are available to do the film shooting in outside, out of town. When we do the film shooting, the film directors, what they do, they take one big direct current supply cell. That's one vehicle. You might have marked the power supply vehicle is traveling on the road. Okay, so one big battery. That's not cell, that's combination of cells. A big battery they take. So that is the cell. So from those cells we get direct current. But where we get alternating current? Where you get alternating current? Is it available outside? No. Alternating current, where you are using? You are using one current at home. This is which current? In your house, one power supply you bring from the electric pole, just close to your house or near your house. From the electric pole you bring the current by the help of 2 wires. That is which current? The current what we use in our house, that current is alternating current. So that is the alternating current what we use in our house. When you use the current in our house, after using for the complete month, after that we pay the bill. But when this direct current, in many cases direct current, what we do? We go to the shop, we give the money to the shopkeeper and then buy the cell. After giving money, we use this direct current. We bring the source, after giving money, then we bring it to our home, then we use it. But in alternating current source, we use it for the whole month, then after that we pay. So one of my students once told a very good difference between this direct current and alternating current. What an innovative idea he had. He told that direct current is prepaid and alternating current is postpaid. Okay, that's a very good idea. So, okay, so that difference you will not write in exam. Okay, just I told you like that. So this is the direct current and this is the alternating current. So today the topic of discussion is our alternating current. So this chapter now starts alternating current. Alternating current. AC. Alternating current, or symbol or in short we write AC, alternating current. So what is the definition of alternating current? I told you, the current which changes its magnitude continuously and direction periodically is called alternating current. So this alternating current, how will you present it by equation? I equal to I naught sine omega t plus or minus phi. This is the equation of alternating current. But this is the not only equation of alternating current. We can also write the equation I equal to I naught cos omega t plus or minus phi. This is also not only the equation. We can also write I equal to I naught sine omega t plus cos omega t. The linear combination of the sine and omega. This alternating current can have many equations. But linear combination of sine and omega, sine and cos. Linear combination of sine omega t and cos omega t. We can write many equations like that. Then the question is coming in your mind, but sir, always we write this equation we derive in the previous chapter AC generator, we derived this equation. We have not derived this and this. So for simplicity, for the class 12 students, the books and everywhere also we are using this equation because it will be simple for you. It's not that this is the only equation of alternating current. This can be the equation, this can be the equation of alternating current. And also what about the graph? The graph in the previous lecture also I have drawn the graph of this alternating current like this. That this is I, this is omega t, so this is pi by 2, this is pi, this is 3 pi by 2, this is 2 pi. Also I have drawn the graph for this in the previous lecture. Okay, this is the graph of alternating current I have drawn. But this is also the not only graph of alternating current. The graph can be also many types graphs also possible. This starts from here, it can start from here. No problem. The graph also can be like this. The graph also can be like this, like this. So this is also alternating current. This is the sawtooth wave. This is called sawtooth wave. This is called sinusoidal variation. Okay, sinusoidal variation, but this is the sawtooth wave. The graph can be like this. Not only this, also the graph can be like this. Graph can be like this. This is square wave. This is square wave. So alternating current graph also can be of many types. But again the question is coming into your mind. So but always we are using this type of graph. Why always we will discuss this type of graph or this graph we have generated in AC generator. Again I told you, for simplicity for class 12 students, we are using only the sine function here for alternating current. So this graph will stick to only this equation of alternating current. I is equal to I naught sine omega t plus or minus pi. Let's now try to understand the different terms used in this equation. What is this I? I is the instantaneous current. So this is the graph. I is the instantaneous current. Means current at any instant. Current always changes. Here, suppose I will tell now what is the current 0. Now what is the current this much. Now what is the current this much. Now what is the current this much. At every instant. At every instant, the values of a current always vary, and that one will tell us instantaneous current. Current at any instant. But what is this I naught? You see, this is the I, this is omega t. When this I value increase and maximum here. Maximum here. So this is called I naught. And here decrease and maximum in negative here. So this is the minus I naught. Means your current now varies between plus I naught to minus I naught. This I naught is called as what? Peak current. This I naught is called as peak current. This is peak current. And this is equal to E naught by R. This equation also, you know, E naught by R, or E naught is what? NBA omega in AC generator. In the previous lecture, I have told you. NBA omega by R. So this is the peak current. So now you got the information about I naught. Now come to what is omega. Omega is the angular speed of the armature coil of a AC generator. That's omega. Also this omega here can be called as angular frequency. This omega also can be called as angular frequency, where its formula is 2 pi nu. 2 pi nu, the formula of omega. And what is this nu? Now again we come to nu. So nu is called frequency. So nu is the frequency of alternating current. Frequency of alternating current is nu. So the current which is supplied to our house, that is of how much of frequency? If alternating current, you must have some frequency value. That is of how much frequency? 50 hertz. The frequency is 50 hertz. 50 hertz frequency alternating current which is supplied to our house. You will see any devices what you are using, even if your mobile charger. In your mobile charger, the input side, what you use in your plug pin, the input side you will read on the charger what is written. That may be written as 50 hertz, 220 volt. 220 volt, 50 hertz. About 220 volt I will tell you, but the 50 hertz is the frequency. Okay, so of our home delivery current supply in India. Then in USA, what is the value of frequency in USA? That you find how much frequency is of the alternating current in USA. Okay, so this is the frequency. Now come to what do you mean? What is this phi? What is this phi, or what is this omega t plus phi? The whole term omega t plus phi, the whole term, this omega t plus phi is called as phase. This is called as phase. The whole term is called as phase. The whole term. Okay, this the whole is the phase. What is phase? Phase you have read in class 11th in oscillation chapter. Phase is a quantity which presents the state of motion of a body when a body oscillates. When a body oscillates, it presents the state of motion of a quantity. Okay, I know you forgot. If you forgot, just I want to tell you. I will explain you about the phase again to you. You see, so this is a body. Now this body all oscillates. Okay, if this body oscillates, it starts the oscillation from here. It oscillates like this. This body oscillates like this. Okay, if it oscillates like this, I just want to know at any instant where this body is. Suppose the body is here. Starts the oscillation from this point and the body is here. If I want to know where the body is, which quantity we need to specify to find the position of the body. This position is called mean position. From this position, this body now shift to this. Which quantity we should use to know the position of the body? Which quantity will tell? Will tell the body is at a distance of 2 cm from the mean position. If 2 cm, then it's good. Can we get the body? It may be 2 cm to this side. It may be 2 cm to this side. It may be 2 cm to this side. May be 2 cm to this side. To which side? Okay. Again you are telling the answer. Shall you specify this as plus 2 cm and this is minus 2 centimeter. So then plus 2 centimeter will be to this side. Okay, it's good. You got now the position of the body. That's right. But where is the direction of motion of this body? Where is the direction of motion of this body? This body, whether it will go up or will come down, because during motion, so this body may go up, may come down. When it is here, how will you get the information about this? That is not possible. To find position, you can tell that from center, from the main position, the body is at a distance of plus 2 centimeters. So here, but where will be the direction of motion? Can you tell? From the plus 2 centimeter, is it clear that the body will move up or will come down? No. Only one quantity will help you to get the position of the body, to get the not only position as well as the direction, the state of motion of the body. That is the phase. Phase is such a quantity. Phase is such a quantity which presents the state of motion of the body. Do you want now, using phase, how I will specify? Your everything will be clear. You will understand clearly where the body is. And this phase is written as either fraction of pi or fraction of a time period. It can be written as fraction of pi. Suppose or fraction of time period fraction t, this is the t, it's a fraction. The whole is t or the whole is 2 pi. The fraction of 2 pi or the fraction of t. You see how I am telling? Suppose the body starts from here. If the body starts from here, this is 0 phase, it moves to this side, extreme end. Okay, extreme end, pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2, 2 pi. Again I am telling 0, pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2, 2 pi. So one oscillation is complete. One oscillation is complete. So to complete one oscillation, so what is the phase? 2 pi. Phase is 2 pi. It's clear? Okay. Suppose now you see. So phase is written as, I am writing here, 0, pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2, 2 pi. Similarly, in time period form, if I tell, total is capital T time, total oscillation capital T time. This is, starts from here, this is capital T by 8, T by, then 4, then this is, sorry, this is 0, this is T by 4, this is T by 2, this is 30 by 4, then this is T. Again I am telling 0, T by 4, T by 2, 30 by 4, T. Okay, so I am writing in terms of fraction of time period. You see 0, T by 4, T by 2, then 30 by 4, then T. Also it can be written as, this space can be written as fraction of a time period. If one complete rotation, it is one complete oscillation it did, so then the time period will be capital T and this will be 2 pi. Then the question is coming to your mind, so how you get the direction of a motion? We still, till now we are not getting it. How will you get the direction of motion? You see, this body starts from here, it oscillates. Okay, it oscillates. Suppose after some time you want to know where is the state of motion, where is the body is now. Just I will tell you the phase now. You see, just I will tell you the phase. The body is, suppose 3t plus t by 8. You see, you have all information now. 3t plus t by 8. 3t means it already completed how many oscillations? To complete one oscillation, time is capital T. 3t means it completed already how many oscillations? 3 oscillations it completed. And T by 8 means where the body is. This is the initial position. This was the initial position of the body. It already completed 3 oscillations. Already completed 3 oscillations. After completing 3, T by 8 means this is 0. This is T by 4 extreme end. T by 8 means 0, T by 4 in between it. Between 0 to T by 4, just in the middle, T by 8. Here the body is. Here the body is. Now it's a T by 8. T by 8 means it moves from this mean position to T by 8. Means after that it will go where? It will go to T by 4. To this side, it will go to up. We got the information here that already it completed how many oscillations and also where it want to move. It is which position and where the body will move. T by 8 means from 0 to T by 8 here, and it will go to T by 4. Also in terms of angle, if I write in terms of angle, suppose 6 pi, or I am writing another example. Suppose here I will tell 4 pi plus 3 pi by 2. If I write the phase like this, 4 pi plus 3 pi by 2. What information now you got? 4 pi. 4 pi means how many 2 pi is there? Means 2 pi. 2 into 2 pi. Means it completed already how many oscillations? It already completed 2 oscillations. Okay. Twice of 2 pi completed 2 oscillations, and where the body now? 3 pi by 2. 3 pi by 2 means if this is the starting position, pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2 means body is here. Now where the body will move? The body will come down. 3 pi by 2 means body is here, the body will come down. So we also get a direction of motion, the position of the body, as well as how many oscillations it completed. Phase is such a quantity which presents the state of motion of a body when a body oscillates. So I show you taking the help of this marker because you can able to see the marker. But I can't show you the current because current you can't able to see. The current also oscillates. It increases from 0 to maximum value, then to 0 it also oscillates. So the state where the current is now, okay, to any particular instant we can able to get about this current also using this page. So this is about the phase. Just I told you from the 11th class it is required for you. But if omega t plus phi, the whole is called as a phase, then what is the meaning of this phi? What is the meaning of this phi? Phi is called initial phase. Phi is called initial phase, or its other name is epoch. Initial phase or epoch. What do you mean by initial phase? What is this phi? Initial phase. Initial phase means, suppose you see two bodies now start oscillating. One body is here, one body is here. At any instant, suppose at any instant this body is here, and this body start oscillating fast. This start the oscillation fast, and this start oscillation in late. This body is here. So it starts from here. It's a 0 phase. When the time starts, it's at 0 phase. But it is at how much phase? Pi by 2 phase. When time is equal to 0, this is at 0 phase, but this is at pi by 2 phase. Means at time 0, its phase is already pi by 2. So this is the extra phase it has. Pi by 2 phase. It's already in its maximum amplitude value when it is at 0. Then when this body will go there, then this comes here. Means what happens here? Now it is at pi by 2 phase, but it is pi by 2 pi. It is a pi phase. So what is the phase difference always between them? What is the phase difference always between them? Pi by 2. You see, this is at 0, this is at pi by 2. The phase difference between them is pi by 2. The difference of phase between them. And this start the motion fast. So here it is called as, this red marker leads the blue marker. Leads. Mark the word what I am telling. Leads the blue marker by a phase difference of pi by 2. By a phase pi by 2 plus pi by 2. Red marker leads the blue marker by a phase pi by 2. And the same sentence also we can tell that this blue marker lags this red marker. This blue marker lags the red marker by a phase minus pi by 2. Lags. It leads, it lags by a phase minus pi by 2. Okay. If I write the equation for, you see, this blue is at 0 and this red is at plus pi by 2. If I write the equation, you see, for the blue, when I write the phase, it's omega t. For this is for blue. This is for blue, this is omega t. But for red, I will write the phase omega t plus pi by 2. For red, I will write the phase omega t plus pi by 2. You see, means when time 0, phase is 0 for blue. But when time 0, what is the phase here? Initial time. Time 0 means initial. What is the phase of this red? Pi by 2. This pi by 2, this one is called as initial phase or epoch. So this is these two words you remember, leads and lags, because frequently we use these words in this alternating current chapter. Okay, I explain you now what is this omega t plus or minus. Why I wrote plus or minus pi? Because that may lead, may lag. So plus and minus pi. For that I am writing here. May lead, may lag. Okay. So now you understand all the quantities used here in this equation. And you understand also between omega one quantity is hidden, that is frequency of alternating current, and time period, the time taken to complete one oscillation, one full cycle. The time taken to complete a full cycle, that is called a time period, capital T. You know, which is thus the reciprocal of frequency, or frequency is the reciprocal of time period. So this is about the whole idea now we assume about the alternating current. But now if I tell you at this instant when I am asking this question, how much current is now passing in anywhere of your house? Now tell me. Immediately when I tell, now tell me, your answer should immediately come. Sir, this much current is passing in my house now. Can you be able to tell? Okay, may not be that the actual value. Suppose you tell now, sir, 100 ampere current is passing. Sir, when you asked me, now 100 ampere current is passing. When you tell 100 ampere current, that will become immediately 50 ampere. When you tell, so now 50 ampere current is passing, that immediately becomes 0 ampere. Why? Because current is always changing its magnitude. So when somebody will ask you that how much current is passing, which value you will tell there? It has no fixed value. But in direct current there is a fixed value. How much you will tell, if you will measure, also you will get that much. But in home delivery supply, in alternating current, if somebody asks now how much current is passing in this wire in your house, what value will you tell? The value is always changing. So what will do there in that case? So as it is always changing, so we discuss its different values we will take now. What are the different values of alternating current? At least to get an idea how much current is passing. we'll discuss about different values of alternating current. Different values of AC. Different values of AC. Okay. So different values of AC means, so first we'll discuss about its peak value, which is not required to discuss because already I have told you this peak value, that is the I naught. The current varies between plus I naught to minus I naught. At least one idea you can have that the current oscillate between this to this amplitude. Okay, but more than that, going beyond the peak value, another value we'll discuss to have more idea about this. Which value? So that is average value. I average. Average value of alternating current. But what is the average value? What is the definition of average value? It's just as usual. Average definition where to write always. It's the mean of different instantaneous values. Average value, as it always varies. So if this is alternating current, as it always varies, so different instantaneous values will measure. We'll find different instantaneous values and we'll add the instantaneous values. So and then find the average. So I average is I1 plus I2 IN divided by N. This is the average value. The average of a different instantaneous values. If I will ask you one question here, one very important question if I will ask you here, what is the average value of alternating current in full cycle? In full cycle, what is the average value of alternating current? What will be your answer? Pause the video here now. Pause the video and think the answer. In full cycle, what will be the value of average? What is the average value of alternating current? What answer you got? If you got 0, then you are correct. Very good. If you got 0 value, just without doing anything, just you look to this full cycle. What will be the value in full cycle, average value in full cycle? It will be obviously 0. How? Because here, how much positive values you will have, that much negative values also will get here. Positive value, how much positive here, that much negative here. So positive, negative, when you add, all gets cancelled in the numerator. So average value in full cycle you will get 0. So remember, we'll never find the average value of alternating current in full cycle, because if we'll find, we'll get 0. Then what a comparison we will do about this alternating current, that how much current is passing in this wire, how much current is passing in that wire, how will compare? Always the value is 0. So nothing to discuss about this average value in a full cycle. Then what we'll do? We will find the average value only in half cycle. Only in half cycle, so that now no negative value will get, only positive value. So it will be 0. If in negative half cycle you will find, you will get only negative, no positive. So it will not be 0. So average value in a half cycle will always define. Okay. So now let's see. Let's find the average value in a half cycle, or that is a small derivation comes in itself, the relation between I average and I naught. Relation between I average and I naught means average value and peak value. And average value means, always you will understand, per full cycle, no, per half cycle. Okay, so now let's find the average value for half cycle of alternating current. This is only for half cycle and the time is t by 2. This is 0. This is I. Okay. So times t by 2. What will do? Now, can you give me any idea to find average value for this half cycle? Any idea is coming to your mind? Yes, you have an idea. I know. The idea is you are telling sir, you just to see what are the different instantaneous values. Just to see what are the different instantaneous values here, here. You just write the instantaneous values and find its average. This type of idea is coming to your mind. But can you be able to measure these instantaneous values? Current in our home delivery supply frequency is 50 Hz. 50 Hz frequency means 50 Hz means how many cycles passes per second? 50 cycles per second. In 1 second in home delivery supply, home delivery current, 50 cycles pass in 1 second. Means how many half cycles? 100 half cycles in 1 second. So in 1 cycle you can able to find some instantaneous values. Is it possible? Can you able to measure? Not at all. If you can't find the instantaneous values, then how will you find its average value? We had only one formula, I average is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I divided by m. But as we can't able to measure any instantaneous values, how will you find its average value? Any idea you have? Now, again we think about it. Okay. So now I want to tell you, I just want to give you an example. Okay, so that you can able to understand. Suppose in your school, I'm just comparing between two sections. You must belong to one section of your class 12. Okay, so let's section A and section B. Two sections are there, and in each section, in your section 50 students are there. In section B also 50 students are there. Okay, suppose we will distribute suppose chocolate. Okay, we'll distribute chocolate to the students. It's the day of what? So it's the day of Students' Day. Okay, so now we'll distribute the chocolates to the students. We will distribute chocolates. Suppose here the class teacher is giving 250 chocolates. Here the class teacher also given 250 chocolates to distribute to the students. What happens in section A? Section A, these students are very disciplined. These students very disciplined. They take one chocolate, all fast one. Then when some chocolate become rest, again one. Then again one. So like this, all take equal number of chocolates. All students take equal number of chocolates. Means evenly distribution, equal number of chocolates. But here section B, the students are very naughty. Okay, they all immediately at a time they all came and now they snatch the chocolates from the class teacher. So what happened? One student get many, one student get only one student get no chocolate also. Okay, no chocolate. So not equal distribution. Students take the chocolates just randomly. They take one get 10, one get nothing. Okay, so not equal distribution. So what happened here? When principal asked to class teacher of B, class teacher of section B, that how many chocolates per student you give? How many chocolates per student your class students get? How many chocolates per student? How many chocolates per student means average value of a chocolate. Is that average value? That is the physical meaning of average value. Average value of a chocolate. How many chocolates your students get per student? How many chocolates? But section B class teacher, biology teacher don't know how to calculate average value. Very weak in mathematics. Okay, very weak in mathematics. Don't know how to calculate average value. Then what happened here? Also students has taken just randomly the chocolates. Also he doesn't know that how to calculate average value, so you can't able to do anything. Section B class teacher, and he knows that principal sir lacks me. So what happened? But section A class teacher, so he has given the chocolates very in disciplined way, equal number of chocolates every student take. So what the section B class teacher did? Section B class teacher is very clever. What he did, do you know? He asked to the section A class teacher. Asked to the section A class teacher, when he came to know that section A, all students have taken equal number of chocolates, he just asked to section A class teacher that your student get how many chocolates? And the class teacher of section A told my student get 5 chocolates per student. 5 chocolate per student. Every student get 5 chocolates. Okay. So then the class teacher of B is now very clever. How? He saw number of chocolates the same, number of students the same. If in section A 5 chocolate per student get, then also in section B 5 student per chocolate, 5 now chocolate per student, 5 chocolate per student. The same value will come. What happened here? Can you understand what example I told? Again I am repeating, section B, section A, 50-50 students, chocolate given 250 on a special occasion. Okay, here students take equal number of chocolates, but here students take not equal number of chocolates. They snatch the chocolates from the class teacher. Okay, but the class teacher of B is very weak in mathematics, can't able to calculate the average that how many chocolates per student get. Then he just looked to the, he asked to the class teacher of section A, how many chocolates your student get per student. And when class teacher of A told 5 chocolates, he also told the same value without calculating, without doing anything, and also value will be most equal. The values must equal here. The same thing also we are going to do now. Why I told you this example? The same thing we are going to do. Can you tell me this section A is compared to which current? This is compared to which current and this is compared to which current? What you telling? Here equal chocolates all students get, constant number of chocolate. So this is direct current. But here not equal number of chocolate. So this is alternating current. And here we are unable to find average value. Unable to find average value. Okay, here we can't able to find average value here. If you can't able to find average value here, then what do? You do one thing. You just look to the direct current. If you are unable to find average value here, you just look to the direct current. Take that value of direct current. But it's the conditions, we should apply the conditions. What condition will apply? We'll see here, we'll calculate this average value for 1/2 cycle, means for t/2 time. So here also we'll take up to t/2 time. Up to t/2 time. Here we see how much amount of charge pass. Here we'll say how much amount of charge pass. If in same charge pass. If in same time, okay, same charge pass, then this DC value is nothing but the average value of SC. Means SC average value is nothing but the DC value. Now can you able to understand what I just told you this example? We are unable to find the average value just like the class teacher of B. So we just look to DC as the class teacher of B did. Class teacher of B also just look to section A. Just also we look to this DC. But under which condition? Time should be same. Here you see students same, charge should be same. You see chocolate should be same. So if same charge in same time pass, then this DC send the same charge being constant, The AC sends the same charge being variable. So this DC is the average value of the AC. Means average value of a AC is nothing but a DC value. So actually this value is of what? One DC value. This is actually DC value. Because to find average value of AC, we are getting the value from DC, comparing with the DC. So this average value is also called as DC value of AC. It is also called as DC value of AC. So hope now you understood. So what is this average value of AC? Now we come to the definition of this. Now try to listen. Average value of AC is that value of DC. Average value of AC is that value of DC which sends same amount of charge in a conductor in same time as is done by AC. As is done by AC. Again I repeat, average value of DC is that value of average value of AC. Average value of AC is that value of DC which sends same amount of charge in same time as is done by AC. Now let's do the mathematics. Let's do the mathematics to find the average value of AC. So how to do? So let S is given by I equal to I naught sine omega t. I have told you, always will take the sine function for simplicity. Okay, and no phi. I have taken initial phase as 0. Also that is for simplicity. Okay, I is equal to I naught sine omega t. Let S equation is given by this. You can take cos, no problem. But I have taken sine here. I told I naught sine omega t. So in this half cycle, when this half cycle pass, how much total charge flow? Now let's find. How will find the total charge flow? Here I is equal to dq by dt. So dq is equal to I dt because current is not constant. So integrating both sides, dq integration, here I dt integration. So dq integration is q and this is AC. AC charge flow in half cycle t by 2 time. So here 0 to t by 2 time limit, 0 to t by 2 because dt is here. So in place of I, now you write I naught sine omega t dt. So now do this integration. I naught is constant, sine omega t dt is minus cos omega t by omega, 0 to t by 2. Okay, so this is I naught by omega. Here minus cos, put the limit, omega t by 2, then minus, but minus plus cos u. So how much is coming? Now see, so qs is coming how much? Where is this one? Not required. So qs is coming now I naught by omega. Then this is minus, what is omega t? Omega t is 2 pi. Omega t is 2 pi, cos 0 is 1. This one I am telling you. Omega is equal to 2 pi by t. If omega is equal to 2 pi by t, then omega t is equal to 2 pi. Okay, so omega t is equal to 2 pi, so I wrote that one. Here, in place of omega t, I wrote it 2 pi. You see, from this, since for your reference, this is I naught by omega, 2 cancel, cos pi is minus 1, so minus plus 1 plus 1. So we are getting here 2 I naught by omega. So this is the average, this is the charge flow by AC in a half cycle. Then how much charge flow by DC? We'll check how much charge flow also DC. For DC, What is the amount of charge flow? Q is equal to IT. IDC into T by 2. Q is equal to IT. For DC we can use Q is equal to IT because for DC current is always constant. No integration is required. Q DC is equal to IDC into T by 2. Okay, so IDC into T by 2. T by 2 is the time because for the same time, how much time AC flow, that much time also DC will flow. So this is the expression for Q DC. This is the expression for Q AC. But I have told you, if the charge flow will be same, if QSC is equal to QDC, then this DC value will be called as average value. If charge flow is same, we have already taken T by 2 times same. If charge flow QS will be QDC, then this IDC will be called as I average value. Means IDC is equal to I average if QSC is equal to QDC. So QSC 2 I naught by omega, QDC IDC, but that I can write I average because I have already made them equal. So in place of DC I wrote I average T by 2. So I average is equal to 4 I naught by omega T. So 4 I naught, but omega T is 2 pi. So 4 to this is cancelled. So we are getting I average is equal to 2 by pi into I naught. This is the relation between average value and peak value. But 2 by pi, you should remember 0.637 into I naught. 2 by pi is equal to 0.637 in decimal if you calculate. If you don't believe me, you calculate it. Okay, so 0.637 I naught, I average. Either this one or this one you have to remember. The average relation between average value and peak value of alternating current. So what relation I wrote here for current, the same relation also applicable for voltage. Same relation also applicable for voltage. We can also write that similarly E average, because alternating current means current changes continuously as well as also voltage changes continuously. Voltage also changes continuously and direction also changes periodically. Okay, but don't think that only alternating current means current changes continuously, also voltage changes continuously. Okay, so E average is equal to 2 by pi into E naught. Similar equation also you can write for voltage. E average is equal to 2 by pi into E naught or 0.637 into E naught. Okay, just you write the current equation I is equal to I naught sin omega t. You can also write the same equation for voltage. E is equal to E naught sin omega t. Okay, so this is about the relation between average value and peak value. But one question sometimes comes in exam here. I now derive the average value for the half cycle of AC. But sometimes the question comes in exam here. The question is like this, and this is the homework for you. Prove that I average is equal to 0 for full cycle. 3 marks. 3 marks question. Prove that I average is equal to 0 for full cycle. Sometimes this comes as a 3 marks question in exam. How will you do this? The same way I derive, also you have to do in that way, no problem. You can able to do. I did the integration from 0 to t by 2, but you have to do the integration from 0 to capital T. When you will do the integration from 0 to capital T, then the charge flow will come as 0. If the charge flow is 0, then what will be the average value of a current? It will be 0. Net charge flow, that Q, SC, when you do the integration from 0 to t, that automatically comes out as a 0. Okay, that is question I just gave you to try. Okay, this question you do. And another question also comes in exam from this. You can't measure AC by the help of the ordinary galvanometer. Why we cannot use AC by the help of ordinary galvanometer? Why I cannot measure? We cannot measure AC alternating current by the help of ordinary galvanometer. Why? Because your ordinary galvanometer measures average value. Its answer is, I'm telling the answer of that one, okay? Because your ordinary galvanometer always measures average value. And what is the average value of AC? Over a full cycle. When pass the full cycle will pass. Half cycle never pass. The full cycle, completely cycles will pass. What is the average value of AC? It is 0. So what the galvanometer, if you connect in circuit, what the galvanometer will show the reading? Always 0. Always 0. So one of my student once told me, sir, who told you it can measure? It is measuring, sir. It's measuring 0 value. Okay. But it's not like that. So ordinary galvanometer cannot measure alternating current. Why? Because galvanometer always measures average value, and average value of AC is always 0. This is the answer. So this is about the average value. Another value it has. Which value? Another value it has. What is that? That is the bit C, 3 number value, that is the RMS value of AC, or that's called root mean square value. Root mean square value, or also it has other name called virtual value. Virtual value also this is called. Also another name it has, also called effective value. Effective value. It has 3 different names. Symbols you can write like this: I, RMS, or I, effective, or I, virtual. 3 names and 3 symbols you can write for this RMS value of alternating current or alternating voltage. So now let's come to its definition. So the definition is hidden in the name RMS. RMS value, root mean square. So definition is like this: it is the square root of mean of squares of different instantaneous values. What I told the definition, square root of. So let's write I RMS is equal to square root of. Okay, first I told it is the square root of mean of something. Okay, mean of square root of mean of squares of. Okay, squares of something. Squares of what? Different instantaneous values. Okay, instantaneous values. Different instantaneous values. This is the complete definition now. The square root of mean of squares of different instantaneous values is called alternating. It's called RMS value of alternating current or virtual value of alternating current. Based on this formula, one question once come in the board examination. Very easy question. Anybody can do this one. Okay, the question is like this. Question is like this. Okay, question can. This is plus 2. This is minus 2. Value was here. Plus 2 and minus 2. Okay. The question was find the RMS value. Find the RMS value. How will you find the RMS value here? I will do. You first try. Pause the video. Just use this formula is written here. You first try to get the answer. Okay. Till now you have not paused. Till now you have not paused the video. Okay. Please pause this video and see the answer. Now you play the video and see what answer I am doing. RMS. Just square root of here plus 2, here minus 2, here plus 2. Okay. So 2 square minus 2 square, then 2 square divided by 3. 3 times it. 1, 2, 3 times. Then you find the answer. 4 plus 4 plus 4. What are you getting? Mathematical solution is your job. I will not do that one. So you can able to find the RMS value like this. So this is a general definition for RMS value. But now we find the relation between IRMS, relation between IRMS and I naught. Relation between peak value and RMS value. Let's find the relation. How will find the relation between them? So also the definition to find the relation is same as the average value. What we'll do? We'll compare. We'll take one AC. In full cycle AC we'll take. If we take half cycle AC also doesn't matter. Here no problem. But I take here full cycle AC and you take DC. This is AC and this is DC. You pass both in a resistor. Same resistor. For how much time? If this is capital T time, also you pass this for capital T time. Here when AC pass, heat produced HAC. When DC pass for same time, also heat produced HDC. You pass AC for T time, heat produced HAC here. You pass now DC for same T time, heat produced here HDC in the same resistor. If both heat produced is same, then this DC value is called RMS value of AC. Again, this is also the DC value. This DC value is called RMS value of AC, just like the average case. But in average case, we compare making same charge flow. But here we compare making same dash flow. You are telling? Yes, correct. Heat flow. Same heat flow. Okay. So now let's start. Let AC is given by I is equal to I naught sine omega t. Simple equation I have told you always to take. Then what is the amount of heat flow? I square R dt integration. The heat flow formula you know, I square RT according to Joule's law. Heat produce, not heat flow, sorry, heat produce. Heat produce I square RT, but here as it is alternating current is not constant, I have to do integration, I square R dt integration. So I square, so this is I naught sine omega t, I naught square sine square omega t, then R dt integration 0 to capital T. Okay, so I naught square R taken to outside, integration of sine square omega t dt. And here this integration, you are now the masters of integration already. You can able to do it. Or if you want, I am doing this one. Cos 2 omega t by 2 formula. You will use your the trigonometric relation. So this, I use here cos 2 theta formula. Okay, using cos 2 theta formula I got that sine square omega t is equal to this much. Then do this integration I square r. 2 is taken to outside of the integration. Then integration of 1 means dt minus integration of cos 2 omega t dt. This is 0 to t, this is 0 to t. Okay, so now do this integration. What we get here? So now we'll do the integration. You see, so integration here h ac, we are struggling to find HSC. So I naught square R by 2, dt integration is t, integration is done, t, then if you put the limits, you get t. Then cos 2 omega t, this is minus sine 2 omega t by 2 omega. Cos theta integration is, this is sine theta, then minus side is here. and here we have not put the limits till yet, 0 to t. Okay, so I naught square r by 2, this is t, and you put the limit in this side, sine 2 omega t by 2 omega, then minus minus plus, then sine 0. After putting the limits, sine 0 by 2 omega. So what we get here? I naught square r t by 2. Why? Because sine 0 it is 0. Then sine 2 omega t, so it become omega t is 2 pi. So 2 pi into 2 becomes sine 4 pi. This is also 0. So we get this much. This is the HSC value. Now HDC for DC. For DC, HDC is how much? That is I square RT, I square RT. Simple equation. How? This is very easy because current is always constant. This much derivation is not at least required for a DC. Okay, so I square RT. But the condition is, so now our condition is, so if HSC and HDC will be equal, then this IDC is called as IRMS. So IDC is equal to IRMS if HSC is equal to HDC. But what is HSC? I naught square RT by 2. This is IDC square, one not DC. We'll write here IRMS square RT from this. Okay, so IRMS is equal to, you see RT cancel and you do the square root I naught by root 2. If you put 1 by root 2 value 0.707, this one you remember. This one you remember that 1 by root 2 is 0.707, the value of 1 by root 2. 0.707. Okay. So, relation between IRMS and I naught. Similarly, for EMF for voltage also you can write ERMS is equal to E naught by root 2. ERMS equal to E naught by root 2. Similarly, also you can write this one. For EMF, if you want to do, you can also do taking the formula E is equal to E naught sin omega t. But similarly, we write the formula here. Okay. So this is the relation between RMS value and peak value of alternating current. But here, what different questions comes from this RMS value? First question is coming to your mind. If I tell how much voltage is supplied to our house from the power supply company or government, how much voltage is supplied to your house, immediately the answer comes to your mind. Sir, 220 volts, 50 hertz, frequency is 50 hertz, but 220 volt. Then the question is coming to your mind, this 220 volt is which value of a voltage? Because voltage, three values you have, E naught, E average and E RMS. Which value is 220 volt? What we are telling, that is which value? So that is this RMS value. RMS value is 220 volt. Remember, effective value, how much EMF is supplied to your house, that is the RMS value. What values in day-to-day life we talk with each other, they are the RMS values. RMS value of current, RMS value of voltage. They are the RMS values, always remember. If our home delivery supply is 220 volt, that is RMS value, then what is the peak value? Obviously, one curiosity is coming to your mind to calculate. So, E RMS is equal to E naught by root 2, 220 volts. Then what is the value of E naught? It is 220 into root 2. So it is coming nearly 311 volt point something. Nearly 311 volt. That means the voltage peak value is 311 plus 311 to minus 311, the voltage varies now in our house. So when you are getting, suppose someday you got electric shock and somebody told you got shock of 220 volt. Now after this class, you have the idea now. Okay, if somebody will tell you that you got the shock of 220 volt, you will be angry there. Why you will be angry? You will tell to that person, I not got the shock of 220 volt, but I got the shock of 311 volt. Really the persons who get the shock, they are not getting the shock of 220, they are getting not only 220, they are getting the shock of 311, because once that voltage reaches to 311. Okay, also at the same time the voltage in between also becomes 0. Also that voltage in between becomes 0 volt. So our home delivery supply is 220 volt is the RMS value, and its peak is 311 volt is coming to our house, peak value. So what more questions will come? Then your ammeter is what? Your ammeter. So you got 220 volt, that is the RMS value I told. What your ammeter reads? Your ammeter reads RMS value. That is based on thermal effect of electric current. On which, based on what your ammeter reads, the question will come in exam. The ammeter reads the value based on thermal effect of electric current. It reads RMS value. Then another question also I am telling to you. You think its answer between 220 volt AC and 220 volt DC, which is more dangerous? This is one big question to you. 220 volt AC and 220 volt DC, which is more dangerous? You think this answer. Think this answer. Okay? And the next is one question I will not forget to do, which always comes in exam. The question from your exemplar book. It's a very important question from your exemplar book. One question I am doing, all of you see. Now you try to do this question. This time is written here T, and here the time is written 2T. Okay, and here it is 1 ampere. I am writing the exact data from the exemplar book. Question is find IRMS. Find IRMS value from this graph. See the graph? Okay, and find IRMS value. RMS value of current to find. Pause the video here and solve it. Till now you have not done. Pause the video here and solve it and try to find the answer. Now you see how I am solving the answer. Now you check. Okay, what answer you have done? Now you check. IRMS, what is the formula? That I1 square plus I2 square. How many values will take? One here, and one here. I3 square divided by 3. So here 1 square, here it is minus 2 square, here it is 1 square by 3 whole root over. How much it is coming? 1 plus 1, that is 2. Then here it is 4. 2, 4, this is 6. 6 by 3. Right? So this is 2 square, 4, and this is 1 plus 1, 2. Okay, right, it is 6 by 3. So it is coming root 2, 1.414. So the answer is coming root 2, 1.414 ampere. 6 by 3 root 2. I think calculations are correct. Okay, 1.414. You got now 1.414 ampere? Is it? Okay. So if you got 1.414 ampere, don't be happy, because this is a common wrong answer. This is a common wrong answer done by the students. It's a common wrong answer. Yes. So what is then the right answer? What mistake you did now? You see the graph and What mistake you did? Whenever you choose the current, in particular interval you will take the current. Here in this interval, but here it is this is t by 2, this is t by 2, this is t by 2, this is t by 2. In every t by 2 interval you take the value, or you take in only one cycle. In only one cycle, only this and this up to t you take. You just forget the other part. Either you take up to t, or you take completely, it will take up to 2t. In each interval you take one value, but here from these two intervals you have taken only one value. So here is the mistake. So what we do here, so this is in every interval you will see one interval here, one interval here, one interval here, one interval here. So another value you can add, I4 square by 4. So this is I1 square 1 square, this is minus 2 square, again minus 2 square, minus 2 square, minus 2 square, because here, okay, then again 1 square by 4 root over. What answer we are getting now? See, so this is 4 plus 4, 8, and this is 10, it's coming, right? 10 by 4 root over, 5 by 2 root over, you will get, I think, 1.6 ampere. You will solve, I don't know whether it is correct or not. Okay? If you got from the starting 1.6 ampere, then you are a genius, right? You are very good. If from the starting, without doing the common mistake, you got the answer 1.6, then it's a very good, you are genius. You test yourself now that I am genius. Okay? So today we discussed about what is alternating current and what are the different values of alternating current, like average value and RMS value. Thank you.